While our focus so far has been on the mindset of individuals, it's important to note that organizations have mindsets as well. When a company encourages risk-taking and celebrates failure, they're embracing and encouraging a growth mindset. In these organizations, employees are highly engaged and innovation abounds. Loyalty to the organization is strong and people typically stick around. In fixed mindset organizations, or even those that speak about a growth mindset but actually penalize risk-taking and failure, employees are reluctant to try new things. They're reluctant to innovate and to suggest improvements with the sense they may fail and be punished. Even worse, research by Carol Dweck suggests that individuals in fixed mindset organizations regularly kept secrets, cut corners, and cheated to try to get ahead. She found that employees in growth mindset organizations are 47% likelier to see their colleagues as trustworthy. They're 34% likelier to feel a strong sense of ownership and commitment to the company. They're 65% likelier to say that the company supports risk-taking, and they're 49% likelier to say that the company fosters innovation. Sometimes the way feedback is given in an organization is an indicator of the mindset. For instance, feedback that is consistently negative without constructive ideas for growth suggests a fixed mindset. If you're being told, you didn't meet your sales targets, or you'll never be a good manager, or your plans didn't work, you're not being encouraged to learn and to grow. A manager with a growth mindset would turn, you didn't meet your sales targets, into a discussion around what specific actions or events accounted for the misses, and how can these be addressed or mitigated going forward. Perhaps you need to be more articulate about the competitive advantages, or you need to sharpen your presentation skills. This is specific feedback that will help you grow and which will benefit both you and the company long term. Likewise, a manager who wants to brainstorm why a plan didn't work and spend time on what was learned will ensure that the same mistake won't happen twice. In addition to feedback, reward systems can impact mindset. Think about how employees are rewarded and what happens when calculated risks fail. At X, Alphabet's Moonshot Factory, Astro Teller leads the organization by publicly celebrating failure. He says if you want a culture of innovation, your organization must visibly and repeatedly reward employees whose projects fail. Take a moment to think about what mindset shows up in your organization. Download the worksheet attached in the resources section. Does your organization encourage risk-taking? Do they celebrate failure? Do they reward fresh thinking? Is there a strong spirit of collaboration? Is there investment in professional development? Are small wins and learnings celebrated? Do employees debrief on initiatives to understand what worked and what could be improved? Or is the focus only on end results? How might you or the culture play a role in shifting your organization to more of a growth mindset? You may want to discuss this as a team to collectively brainstorm how to support a growth mindset culture. Before we explore the 6 roadblocks holding you or your organization back from living with a growth mindset, it's important to understand 4 common misperceptions. The first 2 have been explicitly identified by Carol Dweck in her work, and the latter 2 are some additional misperceptions I've seen in my own coaching. 1, I already have growth mindset and always have. It's important to note that no one has growth mindset all the time. I consider myself as someone with a fairly strong growth mindset. I rise to challenges, I love to tackle new problems, and I enjoy constant tweaking of projects that don't run as smoothly as they could. Yet, put me in the kitchen, and I have a strong fixed mindset. I don't fundamentally believe I can improve. And growing up with a perfectionist mom who was a great cook, I never felt my cooking was adequate. Early on, I threw in the kitchen towel. Likewise, I still cringe when I have to read workshop surveys, knowing that my approach won't resonate with everyone, and I will get some tough-to-read feedback. But I buck up and force myself to realize that it's only through reading this feedback that I will improve. Even knowing this makes it hard. But as Carol Dweck says, the path to a growth mindset is a journey, not a proclamation. 2, it's just about praising and rewarding effort. Outcomes don't really matter. A growth mindset is not just about working hard or having high expectations. It's a core belief that you can change and grow with effort. In the end, the outcomes do matter. If you haven't developed in some way, you haven't really demonstrated a growth mindset. A growth mindset involves self-reflection and an attempt to change strategies when needed. 3, some mistakenly believe that if I have a growth mindset, good things will always happen. Yes, good things will happen, but they won't always happen. By definition, having a growth mindset implies stepping out of your comfort zone and taking risks. And taking risks means that you will, at times, fail. But remember that greatness rarely comes out of a comfort zone. And 4, I must always have a growth mindset. Rather than thinking one must always show up in life with a growth mindset, it's important to reflect on whether there are times that not having one would serve you just fine. Back to my golf example, where I realized I had a fixed mindset. Perhaps that's okay. Maybe I'm fine never improving, but simply enjoying being in nature and sharing a sport with others. Sometimes it might be important to just relish the moment and not focus on growth and improvement. Recognize when it's worth the effort to apply a growth mindset and when perhaps it's not merited. It's important to identify if any of these 4 misperceptions resonate with you. So much of the work around mindset is becoming self-aware. This awareness then leads to change. Let's reflect on which misperceptions may be at work in you. Download the worksheet in the resource section to identify any of the 4 misperceptions that apply in your life and what you might do to address any of them.